Woohoo! Hello, everyone. It's me, KP. I'm here in my studio, The Moon and the Maker, home of ArtFoamies, and I am here for what am I here for? ArtFoamy Fun Friday. Yay! All right, let me say hello and see who else is joining. I'm sorry I'm running a little bit late. Honestly, I was plucking some gray hairs in the mirror and lost track of time. Linda Weber is here. Anita Kay is here. Bernadette, welcome. Catherine is here. Who else am I seeing? Megan, Linda, Stephanie, D Keels, and D, I hope that you received my message. I don't know if you did. I wanted to thank you for one of the most beautiful cards I've ever received. Thank you so much. Seriously, I'm going to share it if it's okay with you. Mary Lynn is here, Cecilia, Patty, and Patty is going to tell everybody, please like the video and make sure you're following, right? Jack and Dana and Lady Finley are here. Pam is here. Ellen, welcome. Diana Quick, I hope you're feeling better. Maxie Moon is here. Pam is here. Acme Post, welcome, welcome. Jan, I'm so happy that you can join in. Sue is here. Monica, Christina, thanks for joining us. Terry Dye. Oh my gosh, we have a great group. All right, Wendy is here. So we do have a few new things to share. I do want y'all to know I'm feeling a lot better. My voice is still a little weird. And I feel fine, except for that I am having a lot of issues with my back and my hip. I shouldn't actually even be sitting right now, but standing honestly is also difficult for me right now. So thank you so much. Yes, I'm going to pull out this card that Dee sent me, this card, and I have to show it to you all and read it to you because it almost made me cry. And it was so sweet and special. And I'm going to turn the camera around. You can't see it. Okay, so it's a beautiful embossed card, and it says health, peace, joy, prosperity. It's a Happy New Year card, I guess. So during 2023, may you experience an abundance of these things. I hope so for all of us. So this is another reason I can share this with all of you. And it says, KP, one of the best parts of my 2022 was learning about ArtFoamies, using them, and watching my creativity be unleashed by viewing your Friday night fun makey sessions. Thank you. May you and your family and your business thrive and flourish during 2023. D. Keels. Really special. And I wish that I could fit this in my Rolodex, but it's a little bit big. We're going to be talking about Rolodexes tonight. And thank you again for such a special card. Actually, I want you to know I do have a 5x8 Rolodex. So I'm actually going to notch this. I'm going to put little notches and I am going to save it in my Rolodex. We're going to be talking about Rolodexes tonight. There seems to be a renewed interest in Rolodexing. If you are in my group, we're calling it Rolodexy, and that is our hashtag so that you can play and follow along. Whether or not you're in my Patreon group, I would love for you to play Rolodexy with us and make sure you tag us so that we can see what you're doing and you can share your ArtFoamy fun. Tonight we do have a special artist. I don't know if she's here. Inat is from Israel, and I don't know what time zone it is even there. I should look into that. CK Art. Hi, KP and everyone. Thanks for joining us. Joni is here also. So I hope I didn't miss saying hello to anybody. And if I did, please forgive me and know that I am so grateful for each and every one of you joining me for Makeys. All right. So again, I'm back. I'm losing track of what I'm saying here. We have a special artist tonight, Inat Kessler. For those of you who have followed ArtFoamies for a while, then you know that Inat has been with ArtFoamies for many moons. Honestly, since before I bought ArtFoamies in 2020, she was one of the original ArtFoamy artists, and we are so happy that she continues to share her designs. You may recognize a couple of Inat's designs because honestly, this set, it's called Woman Power, and it is one of our best sellers and continues to be a very strong set. and in fact is one of the inspirations for some of my figures. So I love using these, and many of you may remember some of the artwork that I created back early when I first took over ArtFoamies in 2020. These were and are still some of my favorite stamps, and I will stamp these for you. But again, this is from Inat's original collection. And if you look at her stamps, you will see she has something called Foambinations, which she started sets that sort of work together. So please make sure to look at Inat's collection, and I am going to introduce you to her new designs. Okay, so there's only a few, but I would have to say that more is not always merrier, and size doesn't always matter. It is a small collection this time, but I would say it's pretty mighty. Okay, I really, really do love the designs that she submitted and that we created. And I'm going to start off with her set of flowers. Okay, and you know what? Shame on me, but I don't have the website pulled up. Excuse me. Oh, sorry. Let me pull up the website so I can tell you the names of her stuff, and we can share a little bit better. And I said, you know what? And it's crazy, but I said that I was going to put these in my Rolodex so that this didn't happen. And of course, I didn't pre-do it. I'm going to do it after the fact, right? Leave it to me. Most of you are used to me by now, I think. All right, so let's see. Let's look at Inat's new stamps. Okay, so this is just called Floral 4, and it is a set, as you can see, of florals. What I love about these, I do really like the size, and those of you who are my card makers and love, sort of a smaller art foamy, then you're going to love these, because the tallest one is 3 inches, and at the widest point, it's just 1.5. But again, the thing that I love about these is the fact that they do have a little spring to them, so you can change the orientation, as you're stamping. So that makes it really nice, and you do get 4. And I am going to show you something fun, because we are here for ArtFoamy Fun, right? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stamp these. Let me just get a little piece of scratch paper here, or it doesn't have to be scratch paper. I'm just going to get a small little piece of extra, little cardstock, okay? There's a little card, and I do have a new scrap buddy, or, well, it's not new, but it's clean, okay? Clean and dry. And I am going to take my white gesso, and I'm going to put it right down my scrap buddy. And the reason I'm using white gesso is because it's nice and opaque, and it's good coverage. It'll dry matte, okay? And it mixes really well with my Moon Glow Extra Bright Dye Reinkers, okay? So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to take just a old room key here, room card, and I'm going to put my, you could use titanium white or white paint, or, a light color. Doesn't have to be gesso, but I just like the way that it's going to turn my Moon Glows into like a pastel. So I'm just going to put a couple drops of my Coral Fire. Going to put a couple drops of my Pink Crush at the other end. Oh, so D. Keel says it's 12 a.m. or 12:10 a.m. in Israel. So that's probably why Inat can't be with us. Unless she's and burning the midnight oil. Okay, and then here, this is my Moon Glow ink also, but I did take my yellow and my blue, and I mixed it, and I made myself a little bottle of extra bright green, and I'm just gonna smush that right in the center. You could also do something fun and put a little bit of yellow all on each end right there. And it's really nice to get those colors kind of mixing, okay? Again, I'm going to take my room key and I'm just going to smush all the color and make myself this nice little rainbow pad on my scrap buddy. And it fits really nicely with these little new iNat floral stamps. And then I'm just going to use this as my ink pad, and it's really juicy right now. Okay, it's actually a little too juicy, so you may want to take some scratch paper and stamp off a little bit, just to get the gist of it. Okay, but anyway, get some of that ink off so it's not quite so wet. And you can also load it up with a little more white if you want to mute the colors and make them a little more pastel-y, whatever. Okay, but I like doing it this way because then I can just, and especially if I am going to stamp in multiples, okay, again, very wet. Maybe I want to stamp off. All right, super fun. Yes, love the little flowers. And again, love the fact that you can sort of change the orientation, so. Oh, it's so pretty. I just love, love, love my bright colors. And of course, you can also use them separately. If you do not want to even use the flowers, I think that these little, vines just by themselves would be really cute. Layer up. Again, and it doesn't take a lot of work. You can just kind of hold up your floral and use just the sprig. And it's just super fun. But then again, I get cheap thrills out of stamping and ArtFoamies. What can I say? Oh, look how cute that is. Did you see that? Let's open this other side up, okay? Because this is a card. I'll just stamp a little bit on the back, but look how cute this is. Again, just sort of hold up the part that you don't want to stamp. Whoops, well, I overlapped a little, but you get the idea. It works pretty well. Oh, well, you get the idea. And I think that, my friends, is a very cute little set to add to your ArtFoamy collection. And again, I like the size just because, it's great for small formats. But, as with anything, if you stamp, in multiples, you, of course, can cover a large area. So either way, you could use it as a background if you wanted to. But I do really like the versatility. All right. Yes. Who else is here? Did I miss anybody? I hope not. All right. Let's see. Yes, Sue. I know. Me too. I've been stamping since, oh gosh, 1993, right? So that would be 90 to 2000. Yeah, 30 years. Because I think my parents opened their stamp company, rubber stamp company, in 97. But I started stamping in California before I even moved to the Midwest. So, yeah. All right, I'm just going to sort of tap these off and put them aside and introduce you to the next set from iNet. One I'm really excited about because many of you know that I love a good cityscape. Yes, yeah, these flowers are extra, extra adorable. So don't forget to add them to your basket. And tonight, you do not need a code. We are running a little special. It is just because you're all so sweet and it's getting close to Valentine's Day. So we thought we'd give you a sweet little deal. And that is buy 4 Art Foamies, get the 5th one free. And that doesn't, this would count as one art foamy because it is a set. So you have to buy 5 items, or I'm so sorry, 4 items. You get the 5th item free. You just add it to your basket and you'll automatically get the least expensive art foamy for free. Okay. So keep that in mind as you're shopping. Again, just want to remind you all that I love a good cityscape, and I think these are absolutely so adorable, so whimsical and wonky. And for those of you who like the town square city block set, then you are going to love this. It will go really well together. And it is a fun set, again, sort of a combinations of iNets because they do work really nicely together and you can really mix and match them. And so I'm going to just stamp a couple for you, and they again are super wonky and really fun. Now these I just did with my Derwent sticks, but of course you can use your acrylic paints, your watercolors, your inks, whatever you have on hand. Okay, so I may even just do a little, let's try it with some of the ink I already have on here. And you know what? I may load up another one. Find another art foamy here. I mean, a scrap buddy. I'm going to load up another one with just a few other colors, just so that I have a little more variation. Okay. Yeah, Catherine says one of my favorite sets, and I am assuming that you mean the Women Power, and I am still excited to stamp this for you and share that with you. So I have a few more things up my sleeve tonight, even though I'm wearing short sleeves. Excuse me. All right, I'm going to load up my scrap buddy again, little white gesso. And I'm going to use a little of my Blue Moon Extra Bright Dye ink over here. And we're going to put a little of the purple. I made a purple mixture as well as a green by using my pink and my blue. And what else do I have? All right, I think that's going to do it. I'll add a little bit more pink down here to this end. Again, it's going to be a little juicy at first. Lots of ways I could sort of fix that problem. I could get out my gel press plate and, stamp off on that and have a lot of fun with that. I don't know how many of you break out your gel plate and play with your art foamies, but it also is a great combination. All right, I'm going to go ahead. I'm just for fun, grins and giggles, going to use this mixture that I put on here. So what are you all doing this weekend? I need to have a little convo going. I need to hear what you're up to. I hope some of you are going to get makey. So, of course, again, these are all mix and match shapes of little buildings and houses. They run about 3 inches by 2 inches. The rooftops are approximately 2 by 2-ish. So You can use one. Again, great for card making, or use them all together. They have some really sort of odd, if I do say so, and not, I don't mean odd in a bad way. Obviously, I love the design, but just different sort of negative spaces. But I think it's really fun to use in conjunction with some other paints, and I'll show you what I mean. We're getting to this one here. I like the fact that you can use this one sideways, although there is a little doorway right there, so you may want to avoid stamping that if you do use it sideways. But I think it's kind of cool to be able to stack on top of each other and make a little cityscape, stacking it sideways instead of up and down. But if you want to use it up and down, I'll show you what I mean. So see that little crazy negative space? It's just sort of jutting out there. Okay, so it really opens up a lot of possibilities though, and that's one reason why I said it would work so amazing with our city blocks and town square sets, because you can put in some of the sort of blocky shapes in the background. And, you know, but of course, when you are also layering it with these pieces, that's going to change it up completely also. All right, I'll show you what I mean. Oops, and I didn't get too great of a stamping on that one, but you know the deal. Nice to be able to line your art foamies up and give them another little smush. Again, you can use them, this being the bottom or that being the bottom. So, and again, stacking them on top of each other. Lots of fun variations here. And again, I'm just stamping all of them so you can see, you know, sort of see them in their entirety here. Oh, but I don't want that. Let's see. I'll change up the color a little bit. And I am getting very, very inky fingers. Oh, so fun. I just love it. I don't know how many of you remember back in the Rubber Moon days, Jessica Sporn came out with a fun little village set. It was very much smaller, of course, but it kind of reminds me of that same whimsical, you know, a little bit wonky cityscape. You know, it's not, of course, not the same, but it has a similar feel to me, and I really think this would be fun with celestials, moons and stars and suns. Oh yeah, so cute. And I think for this one I am do need another little something right here. So I think excuse me, just gonna load that up, and I'm going to put a little piece of paper right here, like a mask, and then I'll just stamp that there. I don't know what I'm doing now, and now I'm just wanting some little edges. And we're just going to put a little indication in the background now. We can use so many, and you know, it can reactivate with a little spritz, a very light spritz of alcohol. We'll sort of reactivate some of these a little bit so I can get some of that back there. Whoops. Just using, you know, little bits of it again, sort of in the background. Oh, and that got a little too bright. If it gets a little too bright and you want to knock it back, of course, you could use just a little bit of white gesso. And we'll overstamp it again. A little bit of orange here. And now I'm just being indulgent and having fun. Sorry about that. And I do feel a moon would be so, so cute. So let me go and see if I can find a little, oh, you know what I have? I have right here on my desk my little dauber set. So let's go ahead and we'll take the dauber and a little blue. And there's my little wonky town, my little Inat Kessler foambination town. And of course, you know, we'll just go ahead and crop that right off, splash a little watercolor on here. And oh my gosh, I think it'd be just so, so cute. And this is nice watercolor paper, so it would not be hard at all. Let's just do it. All right, let's just take our watercolor and splash it on there just a little bit to sort of finish it off. Let's see what would be a great color. Let's use a little of our teal here. Just go through our town and put a little smushy. You could also throw in a couple other colors, maybe a little gray here and there to sort of give a little variety and a little balance, you know. Go back to my teal. And this is how you have fun on a Friday night, at least in my opinion. There's really nothing I'd rather do than sit in my studio and splash around in my paints and smush ink on my ArtFoamies. And of course, spend time with all of you. Let's take a little green gold and, oh, maybe it needs a little darker. Let's see. Let's go ahead with maybe some gray too. And maybe, I don't know why, but we'll just turn this sort of into a little bit of a tree. I'm just feeling it. And, you know, for those of you who follow me quite often, you know that I am a big believer in just really doing whatever the heck I feel like it when I'm watercoloring. So just gonna do a little of that. I do want to fill in this door. Oh, it needs just a little of that color, and And then I maybe splash a little color up into the rooftops and such like that. But, you know, that's all just at your whim, you know. All right, and I'm going to call it done. Of course, you know, you could put a little splatter would be cute. Let's try a little splatter, just a little. Because splatter sometimes, I shouldn't say, you know, always, but generally a lot of times a little splatter makes everything just a little better. I don't know, you probably can't even see that much, but it makes it just a little more, I don't know, whimsical maybe and fun. A few more little, let's do a few more little dark spaces back here. Textures. All right, and I think that's good and done. I think it's super cute, and I mean, I could even just see this in a journal, maybe even a little print for a kid's room. I don't know, with a cute little word or saying down here. So anyway, just get your new Einat Kessler, what is it even called? City something? Funky Town. Funky Town. And that's what it is. It's a funky little town. So that is Einat's second offering. All right. And then finally, and it is a little bit different, but I'm going to say I absolutely love it. So for those of you who are enjoying a good imprint pad, okay, then you're going to love this. It is a little bit different from all of the other imprint pads that we have offered because it is not hand drawn. Okay, it is. Well, I mean, I'm not saying she didn't draw it, but her lines are all, you know, perfect and symmetrical, and it is more of a little bit geometric, you know, and more perfect. And I'm using air quotes, but more of a perfect type of pattern. And to me, it reminds me of like barcode, okay? I will tell you, all of these very, very fine lines may not show up, okay? When you stamp, you're not, again, going to get a super detailed, well, it is detailed, but oftentimes some of these lines will not show up perfectly, but that's okay, okay? These imprint pads are made to create sort of a negative space and just a very organic type background. But the cool thing about it is that since it is very symmetrical and more of a geometric pattern, you know, and again, not, even though she may have drawn the lines by hand, they were perfected and enhanced, you know, probably on the computer. So but I love it. And I'm going to share it with you right now. Here is just a piece that I did using it. And I am going to grab a little bit of printmaking paper. Hold on one second. And I'm just using my Strathmore lightweight printmaking paper. So I have to stop and read the comments for a minute. I'm sorry, they weren't scrolling. So let's see. Stephanie, hello. Jem Smith, welcome. I'm so happy that you're here. Yes, Dee says Inatville. How funny. All right, so here's my printmaking paper. And again, if you're loving the imprint pads, then you are going to love this because it is a little bit different since it is so symmetrical. But the cool thing is that you're going to be able to get really neat strips from this too. So those of you who enjoy like strip club and making your own papers and such, you know, you're going to love it. Also, speaking of making papers, I know the last week I had talked to you all about making papers, which I do have the stack over here to my left. But I did not realize that we were sharing Inat's new collection this week. Okay, so for those of you who are going to come to the after party, we are going to be doing some paper making. So those things that I told you to gather last week, you know, if you want to do it with me, you can do it at our after party. Okay, and I will share the papers that we made next week. And you know, and how to do it. Although I will tell you that next week we are having a very special launch also. So I hope that you'll come back because we have somebody brand new and it's a really fun story and I'm very excited about it. So I'm already going to be teasing you for next week. In the meantime, we're going to get back to Inat's new imprint pad. And this one's called Notions. Okay, because it looks like little notions to me. And I'm going to just show you how I did it. Now I'm going to, again, just use the same inked up or loaded up Scrap Buddies just because I have that already here. Okay, so I'm going to just go ahead and I'm going to load this all the way up. And maybe it needs a little more oomph. I don't want to get it too terribly juicy, but it does need a little more ink. And maybe also a little more gesso. And again, remember that you can use anything that you like, pretty much whatever medium that you love, you can use on your ArtFoamies. You can use acrylic paints. If you do use acrylic paints, I definitely recommend washing them right away and not letting your acrylics dry on there. Okay. You can use your watercolor sticks. You can use your Derwent ink tent sticks. You can use, oh gosh, graphite, watercolor crayons, anything sort of soft. You don't want to use anything too pokey or sharp like pencils, but anything that you can rub across your foam. Oh, this is so cool. I just love it. So I'm going to go ahead. I think I'm going to stamp it right now in its entirety so you can just see it first. And then I'm going to spritz it. And I might have a couple sort of baldy spots. So forgive me for that. I had to wipe my fingers. Yes. Oh my gosh. Patty says almost like embroidery stitches like I was looking for, which is such a cool idea. It does look like stitches. Let me go ahead and stamp it in its entirety first so you can see it. Oh, I just love it. This would make a beautiful background just as it is. You could do a fold over, make a greeting card, journal pages. You know, it would be wonderful on a mat. So if you want to stamp onto a mat and use it to frame some of your art, just the possibilities, as with everything, are endless. But now I'm going to take a piece of the printmaking paper again. And we're going to spritz this with a little alcohol. And I'm just going to pick up bits and pieces. And this is the way, one way I really love to use an imprint pad, just to get these beautiful sort of overlaps. And I'll start to look at it and see where else I might want to fill in and what colors I might want to fill in with. So you can always give it another little spritz if you want more color to start coming up. And I do wish I had a little more blue. So, you know, what would be fun is to just go ahead and reapply, because I'm just not seeing any blue, and that's bothering me. Not seriously. But yeah, you can reapply color here and there. You know, sort of on whatever area that you want, which also makes it nice if you just wanted the X's, right? Let's just finish going all the way across there with that blue color. It's going to give me a row of X's right there, right? So cool. Let's do it again. All right, and I love when it starts to overlap like that. That is just delicious. So I can figure out like, oh, maybe I want some of this. And I want blue again. So I want some of this area, and I want that to go right here. So I'm just going to turn it around, and I'm going to give it a little smush there. And maybe I want some of it right here. So I'll go ahead and give it a smush there. And you get the idea. So I can just keep overlapping wherever I want to sort of give more color, more pattern. If I have any areas that I think look bald or weird, I can, you know, re-ink. Maybe I want that to go there. Don't, you know, I don't love that maybe, so maybe I want to go over it with a pinker color, you know, more pink. Where do I want that? I want that right there. Super cute, right? Super fun. I mean, I can just keep doing this all night long. So anyway, and of course, you know, don't forget, they work great together. So if you have other imprint pads, you know, pull those out and you can layer some of those over the top, and it's really, really fantastic. Okay, oops, I'm making a huge mess right now. And I just am feeling like, oh, you know what? I want some of these X's here. It's going to turn a little more green. And I do want to kind of cover, or, you know, go on that spot. So anyway, get the idea. I could just keep going on for days. And I could even get out my other imprint pads and start having a field day here. Let's one more squish of this. Just I felt like it needed a little more of that bright color. You get the gist, right? So there you have it in its literal form and in its more funky organic form. This also, I will say, would be a great background for Funky Town, right? Yeah, some of it looks like streets to go with Funky Town. You could put Funky Town right over the top of this and it would be fabulous. All right, also with your breakout again, and I didn't pull it out. I wish I had, but because I'm mentioning it, but with your City Blocks and Town Square by me, KP, you could really overlap this. And, you know, and I say it all the time in my mixed media stuff, you can't fake the layers. So this would be a great base layer for, you know, for that. And we've done it lots of times, and we'll probably do it again. It won't be the last. All right. Yes, I love it in funky form too. It's, and I'm just burnishing that a little bit because it was kind of wet. I want to get some of that off because I'm going to show you now. So that concludes our Inette Kessler's new collection. Okay, she has the flowers, the Floral 4, and she has Funky Town, and she has the Notions imprint pad, okay? So I did, many of you, I told you we'd talk about Rolodexes for a moment. Yes, you could stamp right over it. I would stamp right over this and make a, you know, a little town. I've been doing sort of town stuff for a very long time. So, you know, I have certain themes that I myself love going back to. And one of them is the little buildings and cityscapes. You know, moons. Of course, many of you know I do faces, but I really think that this imprint pad, because of it not being hand drawn, you know, it gives sort of that really nice linear line work that is nice for that kind of backdrop. Okay. Anyway, oh, this is on printmaking paper. I was hoping, let's see. So this is on watercolor paper. You know what? I'm going to stamp this on some watercolor paper. Okay. I want something just a little heavier. And I'm actually just going to use, this is my blotter paper, and it's actually a cheap piece of watercolor paper. It has obviously some stains and spots on it. I don't care. Okay, I'm not going to worry about that right now. I am just going to do a little bit of the imprint pad right on here again. Okay, and we're just going to spritz it up with a little alcohol. And I am just going to sort of take it this way, kind of clean it off, okay, if you will. Yes, Jan, it's so funny that you did order that, or not funny, haha, but I knew right when I saw these, I said, these are going to inspire Jan. Jan is going to love these. They just reminded me of you. They will go so cute. This set, for those of you who are Rubber Moon fans, you're going to love this set with some of your Rubber Moon characters, okay? So, yeah. Anyway, I just stamped this. You could consider it stamping off, okay? I think I'm also just going to have a little fun here with her buildings. Again, rather quickly, just stamp them sort of willy-nilly here in the background. Megan, thank you so much. Yeah, I know you love buildings, but also I just thought that you would think they were so cute, the way that, you know, they are kind of wonky, and how cute they would go with the Rubber Moon. It just reminded me of you. So I'm really happy that you like them and that you got them. And I'm hoping you can get inspired by your ArtFoamies. And we can make some Rolodexes. All right, so again, just stamping some of these sort of willy-nilly. Oops. Let's put a little gesso here. And I'm just trying to be quick and kind of random too. I don't want to keep you all night long. Even though I know we could have Art Foamy Fun forever. And for those of you who are going to join me for the after party, you should have received a Zoom link, okay? And I am making quite a huge mess. But what is the fun if you don't, right? Aw, Terry, yes, thank you so much. It is my pleasure. Thanks for hanging out with me. I hope I'm not keeping you too long. I am going to show you one last thing, and this is from me, KP, because many of you know we're doing Rolodexies, right? And some of us do not necessarily have the punches, or even if you have the punches, these make it really fun to add color, and also, again, even if you don't have the punches to make these different sizes, this is 2 1/4 by 4. This is 3 by 5. This will at least give you, I know you still have to fussy cut. Bye, honey. I love you. Thank you, Maxie. Yeah, CK Art After Party is for patrons. Yes. Because we do it instead of Daily Heart now, usually on Fridays. Usually every day we have Daily Heart 5 days a week, but we stopped doing Daily Heart on Fridays so we could have an after party instead. All right, anyway, so here you have the 2 1/4 by 4 and the 3 by 5. Again, I know it's still a pain in the butt to fussy cut, but if you don't have a punch, this will at least give you the, correct spacing for the holes if you are playing along for Rolodexy, okay? So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to use these a couple different ways. I can go ahead and load them up with ink and put it right over the top. Which is really fun to give you sort of a base. So I'm going to do that right here with just, let's use a little yellow. All right, let me use bright yellow, right? And again, it's just going to give me my solid. Although remember, you can do all sorts of stuff on here. You can do rainbow on here. You can draw. You can paint, whatever you want. Just doing it this way to get my little outline. Okay, so now I can see where to cut out. You can also do really fun stuff. For example, let's just go ahead and do this right over the top. Because now for some of you have a Rolodex that has a lid, so going taller will not work. But if you have an open Rolodex, you can make your cards taller and have them sticking up above your Rolodex, or does that make sense? Up above the 3-inch size. All right, let me wipe my fingers and I'm going to cut this out and you're going to see what I mean. Yes, Dee says, I can see Julie Balzer's writer's block over-stamped on the imprint pad. That would be so cute too. Also, of course, I'm going to go ahead and blow dry this just for a quick second so that I don't smear it when I'm cutting it, okay? I was going to do another Rolodex with this one, using this as my base, but I'm not going to because it's getting too late. And I don't want to keep you hostage all night for Art Foamy Fun. But here we're going to cut this out. And obviously I don't have to fussy cut too much because it's pretty, you know, pretty simple, but I wouldn't want to do anything too intricate, just because then it's a pain in the booty, but something simple like this, pretty nice. And I do have some houses, little house scenes already in my Rolodex that I've done with collage sheets from my friend Wendy. So this will go so cute. Again, if you have a punch, you can use your punch. It's gonna still line up, and I'll show you what I mean. If you have a Rolodex punch like this, now this one is for the 2 1/4 by 4. Okay, if you have that, it's gonna line up just fine right in there. Okay, and it should be perfect. Okay, if you don't, then you can fussy cut those out. All right, you can also take a little corner rounder. I don't know if this will fit in here or not. No, well, yeah, it should work. Yeah, that works pretty good. I'm gonna stick that right in there, around those corners. And I have a very official Rolodex card. So many possibilities. And I do really think that the little we're calling this a foamy decks. So the little foamy decks just help you to have a little base layer. And again, your proportions and your holes placing just right. Okay, so that's it, my friends, for tonight. I hope that you enjoyed our ArtFoamy Fun, and I want to stop just for a second. I want to read the comments. Oh yes, CK Art, I will post that for you. Thank you so much for asking. And I would love to stop for a minute and see if anybody else has any questions, because oh, thank you, Maxie. All right. Okay. Yes, Jan, thank you so much. Read some of Jan's comments talking about the Rolodexes, depending on what you have. Again, for those of you who are in my Patreon, then you know, excuse me, we've been talking a lot about it, and I do, you know, share lots of stuff, you know, regarding the different sizes, etc., etc. All right. So thank you again, my friends. You know the deal. I say it every week, and I mean it. I love you to the moon and back. I appreciate you so much, and I hope that you stay safe, stay sane, stay makey, and I will see you next week. Don't forget to come back and join me for next week when we launch a new ArtFoamy artist. So I hope you'll be following along and watching for some of the sneak peeks and things like that. All right, I'm going to turn this around because I just want to say thank you all again so very much for joining me. For those of you who are coming to the after party, I'm going to head on over in just a minute. I'm going to stop and get myself a cup of tea, and I'll meet you over there. Thank you again, and I'll see you next Friday or later, one or the other. Bye.